one quick question for you. With EA 25 college, if you were ranking head coaches, what would your ranking be?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's funny, like all these people are getting pissed off about the rankings. And
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with any of that. So whatever they rank me, they rank me.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Have you played as any of their active players?
No, I haven't played. No, I haven't played video games. Well, take that back. We have one of those old video game things, you know, where you play like Digga and Galaga, you know, stuff like that. No, I don't spend my time playing video games.
Coach, how do you balance hitting the transfer portal, but also keeping the guys in your program happy?
You know, I don't know if it's my job to create happiness. It's more about being fair, creating a competitive situation in the locker room at every position. I do think competition brings out the best in the guys, and when you have a player that doesn't have someone that can beat him out, it's a different level of intensity. When you know that I got to show up every day or this guy's going to get my job. And so you do that through recruiting, you do that through development, you do that through retention. The portal is just another means of adding to the competitive part of your roster where you feel like you don't have that experience in the room, maybe at that spot yet. And you want to just season the younger player a little bit more. For us, we really believe in high school recruiting. We really believe in developing younger players. But we also want to have competitive greatness on our roster. And so there's a blend, you know, and it's a everyday conversation when you're evaluating your roster and your roster management.
The interesting thing about getting a player from another Big Four school, that's unique.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, I'm just the fact that you're competing against a guy and then you bring him into your program. I mean, and the dynamic that brings.
Yeah, I think all these guys, you know, a few years ago we had a guy who came from Fairmont, you know, small, not even FCS, you know, and a level of gratitude that he had just for everything because they got nothing at the program he was at. And I think it's more about the fit than it is the level from where they came for us. And finding somebody that really fills the needs that we have, that fits the culture of the locker room, that has the right attitude, the right gratitude as well. Certainly having a guy like Zeke Carell that was a 30-game starter at Notre Dame, that's a big deal for us to get a guy like that at center. Because we lost a really good center. And so when you add one that's played against so many good nose guards and three techniques in the middle of your offensive line, Jordan Waters, a running back, you know, a guy that's a proven player, that's played against really good talent, understands the ACC. There's obviously great intangibles, you know, when you have players like that.
Dave, the last 4 or 5 months have been pretty good in NC State. How, if any, do you guys feel that momentum, and how do you pick up on it to keep it going?
Yeah, I'm so proud of the athletic department, you know, his leadership, his staff's leadership, what the basketball teams, men's and women's, did this winter was unbelievable. What Coach Avett just did with his baseball team, you know, our wrestling program, our cross-country program, so many of them doing so well, cheerleading, gymnastics, you name it, you just keep going. And one of the things that makes NC State special is the way our fans support all the teams, not just one. And it's really a strong athletic department, and so that wave, that momentum starts with the fall sports, and then the winter sports pick it up, and the spring sports, and it's our turn, you know, and we're excited about riding that red wave. You know, everybody's created it, it's not one sport.
How much do you guys talk about the 12-team playoff? A lot more teams out there.
Yeah, I think we're very well positioned. When the ACC went to one division versus two, it opened the door to all the teams in the league, so that the best two could compete for a championship at the end. And obviously, we have a seat at the table the way that it's put together now. You know, whoever wins the Power Four championships are automatically in. And beyond that, being in the top 11 gets you in. And so definite markers now that you know are real for you to be in the playoff. And those aren't things we ignore. We definitely talk about the end. We started talking about the end in January at the beginning of this journey. And then you get into the steps that it's going to take to make that a reality.
What's your favorite pregame snack?
Coffee.
Dave, you talked a little bit about roster management and how you put this roster, construct this roster. What have you seen from these guys in particular so far, and how do they stack up against other rosters that you have? Seems like you have a really talented bunch this year.
You know, they came in really open-minded, no ego, want to work, want to be good teammates. Talent's obvious. You know, we wouldn't have brought them in, but just the way they want to work together. And that's the thing, you know, football is 120 some guys in the locker room. It's one of the greatest laboratories in life, in my opinion. You have so many different walks of life, from so many different backgrounds, so many different struggles, and then trying to figure out how to get them all to do something together and put their teammates first. And these older guys have done that. They've come in and really wanted to just be a part of it and help advance what we're doing. It's been really fun to watch. You know, and when you have as many, not just transfers, but mid-year guys, with 42 new players in mid-year, it was a big challenge for me. One that I recognized early. We did a lot of things together to build this team up and get to know each other. And so that's really been part of the fun this offseason is getting this team to be one. And now we get to go out on the grass again and start playing the game that they love. And we're excited about that.
Coach, when you look at this roster, two players that keep in mind have local ties, Charlotte, Casey, Conception, and Dalen Smith. We know a little about what Casey can do, but bringing Dalen in, what do you think? Obviously, they have good chemistry together. What do you think those two can do for you guys this season?
Casey had a tremendous year last year, and did so many things for our team, and that will continue. You know, now he's got more weapons around him, Dalen being one of them, and excited for him, and proud of him, the way he's grown up as a person, how hard he's worked in the offseason, the things that he knew he could get better at. He went to work on those things. And, Gavin Locklear and Coach and I, Joker Phillips, those guys do a great job with him. Adding Dalen, the guy we really wanted in high school, and he felt the need to leave. And obviously, we're super happy he came back, excited to help him develop. And obviously, we'll see when he gets on the grass what he does, to help the offense. And yeah, it helps that they're teammates in high school, and there's that relationship that those two guys have. That running back room is really strong. We're excited about the pieces that we've added, and Jordan Waters and Dalen. There's a lot of really good players in there. Duke Scott, one of our freshmen, came in, had a really good spring too. So it's a good room of guys. And Kendrick Raphael played as a freshman, comes back and has gained weight. And so there's competition in that room, and those guys got to compete for carries.
You talked about the fact that Wolfpack fans, they support all the programs, and you touched on all the success the other programs have had. Is there, in your eyes, for the football side, is there pressure to feel more of that embrace, or is it longing to feel more of that kind of embrace that basketball and baseball and so on got for their runs last year?
I haven't really thought about it. My focus is on how can we be really good today, and putting a calendar together that adds up to that at the end of the month. And how can we make July as good as we can make it? Now, how can we make August as good as we can make it? I really know over time in this profession that if you're spending all your time thinking about other things that have nothing to do with you, it doesn't help you. And, I just got to focus on making NC State football as good as I can make it. And there's a lot of eyes on that. There's a lot of good coaches in my building. A lot of people helping, and from the strength staff to the training room, to the nutrition staff, all of us are drinking the same Kool-Aid on what we need to do. And the end result will be what it is. We have to earn that.
You say you guys have had to use multiple quarterbacks over the past couple of seasons. Some of that obviously due to injury. You can't predict a player's health. But what do you just speak on what Grayson brings to the position from an experience and production standpoint, for like stability-wise?
Well, he's a winner. He's won multiple championships. Player of the year 3 times. 10,000-yard passer. He's also a local guy that didn't get recruited by the ACC coming out of high school. So this is a year for him to show, the kind of player he is. And to have a guy as proven as Grayson is with the chip on his shoulder at the same time, it's hard to find. It really is. And I'm excited for him. Grateful that he came to our program because he had other options. Excited that his family gets to be so close and part of the last year of his journey in college.
How do you notice that chip? You mentioned the chip on your shoulder.
Can you say that louder?
You mentioned the chip on your shoulder. What did you notice to kind of sense that?
Right away, the conversation. Coach, I want to come home and show the rest of the schools that they missed. And just how he goes about his work, and the thing that you notice is he's ready for practice. When he steps on the field, he's ready. But when you get into scrimmages and move the ball situations, there's another thing that happens. And he really understands how to compete and face his level of play. When you watch his career, some of his best games were in the biggest games. He's done that a lot.
Our offseason seems to shrink this year. Are you kind of looking forward to just having practice and getting into that rhythm again after, each week something seems to pop up, whether it's NCAA changes or NIL changes or whatever?
Yeah, I think all coaches will tell you that the minute you put your phone in your locker and walk out to the practice field, there's solace there, and that's your safe place. You get however long that practice is, you get that period of time to do what you were hired to do, coach football and mentor young people and lead. And so I love fall camp. I think a lot of people don't understand how great that window of time is for coaches. It's pure. It's you and your guys for 2 to 3 weeks just focusing on the game of football and building the chemistry and roster. So I'm very excited for next Wednesday when we crank this up.
What does it mean to have a guy like Davin
We've had a run of players returning from their last year when they could have gone pro. Bradley Chubb, Ryan Finley, and obviously Peyton Wilson chose to do that. And now Davin, Aiden White chose to do that. And so you get a player that has different things going on. Like their skill sets are their skill sets, but they're working on more like PhD football. It's upper level, it's emotional, it's trying to be able to handle the pressure, it's trying to be able to handle their leadership better, it's their walk of life, things off the field. And so it's fun to be with a guy this long. When you're a coach that's been in the school going on 12 years, recruited a lot of players, graduated a lot of players. You've been through the home visit all the way to the exit meeting many times, and it's an honor to be with Davin Van for his last year. I have great respect for Davin. I love him to death. I'm excited for him. I'm looking forward to seeing him in his last year.
I know I'm a look forward kind of guy, and not the rearview mirror, but 12 years of winningest coaches in school history. Do you take any time to kind of reflect on what you've done and how impressive this run has been?
I do a lot of reflecting, not on how impressive it's been. It's more on, how can I learn from these years, and I have the same goals as these players. I want to be the best me that I can be. And so there's a lot of things that I do to reflect back on good things that I've done, bad things that I've done, how can I grow, where can we be better. And just, being sustainable. I'm either 5th or 6th in college football for tenure. I'm proud of that. It's not a stable profession. It's helped having a great staff. I got a tremendous staff of guys that work with me, that have my back, and know that I have theirs. And so I'm proud of what we've built in Raleigh and want to take it to another level.
A lot of guys who've had success, though, want to be upwardly mobile. What has made you want to stay at NC State for?
Many things. I think I chose NC State when I was at NIU because I felt like I fit. And just like a recruit, you want to go where you fit. And you guys know me well enough. I'm pretty direct, pretty transparent. But I do like wearing cowboy boots and jeans and fishing and listening to country music and eating good food. And I can do that at NC State. I can be with people that like me and just be a regular guy. My family loved Raleigh, and to be able to have 3 sons that are all in college now, but to be able to have them go to middle school, high school in the same city, not move, was a blessing for our family. Sarah and I have great friends. And, to leave a place, it's hard when you love where you're at. And I do. I love where I'm at. And growing up, my family, I didn't live in we moved from different place to different place until we settled in Kansas City. And I've lived in Raleigh longer than I've lived anywhere in my life. So this truly is home now. We have great roots. I will be in this state when I'm retired. It's a great place to live. You guys know that. Where else can you be where you can drive from one place to the ocean or one place to the mountains, or from the ocean to the mountains in the same day? And like if you're lucky, you're fishing at both places in the same day. A lot of people got to get on airplanes to do that. They got to get in a car and do that. So yeah, very fortunate.
Dave, along those same lines, you worked for the same chancellor your entire tenure.
Yeah.
What does it mean? What has Randy Woodson meant to the school, and what does it mean to have him, this be his last year?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I was just talking with the commissioner about Chancellor Woodson, and I'm gonna miss him. He's been phenomenal in every way. Win or lose, conversations, encouragement, what he's done, and through some tough times. Leading a university this big with so many constituents, and just being that sense of stability for me as well. We have had a linear line of leadership, from my chair to the AD's chair to the chancellor's chair, which is a rare thing. I think when you look at not just college athletics, but businesses in general, when you have that line of leadership that sees things the same way, it helps get things done quicker, and so, happy for Randy, that he gets to call his own shot, and he's done such a great job, and he'll be missed. There's big shoes to fill.
You're not on the search committee, but would you like to have some input, or at least talk to potential chancellors?
If they ask me to do that, sure, but that's not something that I feel like is my job. The board will do a tremendous job. The search committee will do a tremendous job. They'll put the right person in that seat. Whoever gets it's getting a great opportunity.
You mentioned before that you're talking with the CFP and the guys in January at the beginning. What did you say?
Oh, it's more just like, hey, here's what it looks like. If you want to be in the playoffs, this is what we got to do. And I thought it would be in the top 12 first, and as I learned, that's not it. You got to win the league or be in the top 11. This is at large play. And so I want the kids to know. I don't want to end up at the end of the season, oh, I'm sorry, I told you the wrong thing. This is what it takes. And now let's talk about how we're going to get there. Because that's really what the focus is now, is how do you make that a reality? And it's day to day. You got to do it every day.
And have you looked around your locker room enough to know that I think you have the ingredients to contend for that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not going to tell you that we're perfect. We're not. We got work to do. But the guys understand the charge. They understand what we're trying to do, the mission, and they're open to being held accountable when it doesn't look right. And that's my job. And I've told them that. I'm not going to be a field coach when things aren't good. We've got to make sure that we point out things. And on a great football team, the players are doing that too. They're holding each other up to the standards and making sure that everybody's doing the right things.
Is it good for the sport? Is it good for NC State that getting in the top 4 is obviously very, very difficult. Now there are a lot more teams that have a chance to come in and say, we can make it to the top 11. We can get into this thing and get ourselves.
Yeah, I think they've opened the doors to a lot of programs like ours. The ones that have hovered in the 15 to 25 range. That one more win can catapult you into another seat. And, it's definitely fun being in a situation where you know that this is real. Get into the top 4 dimension, basically making them undefeated. And sometimes that's not enough. Right? And so now there's clear definition on how you get there and when the ACC you're in, or be in the top 11. And so, I think that's good that it's defined the way it is and that it's settled on the field.
You thought about holding a playoff game at Carter Finley? What that might be like?
I haven't thought about it, but it'd be awesome. That place would be rocking.
And Coach, Grayson comes in with a lot of experience. Kind of what are some specific ways that experience has shown?
Yeah, you can just tell he's been there before, even at this thing, it's second nature for him to stand up at a podium and answer questions. He's comfortable in his own skin, he knows who he is, he prepares. He's been through a lot. He's learned a lot. He's been coached well. You know, Coach Chadwell, Coach Beck did a great job with him. He's a proven winner. He carries himself that way. He's got a self-confidence that's not cocky, but you can feel his presence, and that's what you want in a quarterback.
Talking about coaching the process and how scary that was for sure. If you is there any things that still feel like you kind of check to make sure he gets
You know, any injury that you find out about on any recruit, you do the background. You know, and your medical people talk to them, medical people with permission of the recruit. So we did all those things with him, and he was fully cleared. So, yeah, you know, all these things that you talk about, whether it's an ankle, a knee, a shoulder, a head, they're all things that matter to you when you're recruiting a young man. And, you know, we're excited for him that he's healthy and ready to play.
Grayson and Jordan, you know, two highly sought after recruits in the portal. What have you done in the program, you know, to build guys like that want to come here?
Yeah, I think it's just success when they see what happened when other transfers came in, how they played, how they're treated. I think how they get information from each other too. You know, it's not just what I say, it's what the teammates on the team are telling them on their visit. And they get that sense of family, you know, and what it's like to be taken in with open arms. This goes back to us pre-portal. I mean, even when Jacoby Brissett transferred here from Florida, he became a captain after 1 year and led our football team. And so there's a lineage of guys that have came here from other schools and had success. And so we know how to integrate guys and how to get them to be a part of what we do and not just make it about them, it's about us. And we look for people that want that. They want to be a part of something bigger than themselves.
You were talking about staff. What can you say about Coach Thunder and
Hey, we got it.
strength of
Gene, I got to
conditioning?
get him down. I'm sorry. We're running.